Today I'm going to give away a free t-shirt, bring you a Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown fight, bring you comics news, and reveal the books I bought this week. How y'all doing? I'm Victor, and you are watching the Comic Hero Show. Now kick that logo! Welcome to this week's edition of the Comic Hero Show. I'm your host, Victor Nunley, and I am the Comic Hero. Well, down here in Louisiana, it's Mardi Gras season, folks. Now, Mardi Gras is usually a celebration that we have here in Louisiana that takes place during the day, either on or after the day of Epiphany, all the way through Ash Wednesday, all the way through the day before Ash Wednesday, or as we like to call it here, Fat Tuesday. And during this time, there are a lot of parades. There are parades all throughout the state of Louisiana. There's even some in certain parts of Mississippi. I live in north central Louisiana, and around here, most of the parades either take place in Monroe, Farmerville, or the Shreveport-Bossier City area. And there are three colors when it comes to Mardi Gras, and they're green, gold, and purple. Now, this is a green Mardi Gras themed Comic Hero tee, and it has the CH is purple, and inside the speech bubble is gold. Now, each color represents something that has to do with Mardi Gras. Now, the color green represents faith. Now, for those of y'all know, I am a man of faith. I'm a church pianist, and also I accepted God in my life many years ago. And this is very important to me. And throughout in this episode and then the next two episodes, I'm gonna educate y'all on some things about Mardi Gras, because a lot of viewers, because I have some viewers that don't live in Louisiana, some of them live in other states, and they may not know what Mardi Gras is all about. So that's why I'm here. All right, it's time to give away a free t-shirt. Alright, last week's episode I asked, what is the name of the prison dimension in the DC Universe that mostly houses criminals from Krypton? Well, the correct answer is the Phantom Zone. And 15 people have answered correctly, and because they've answered correctly, their names have been entered in a drawing for a free tee, and that drawing takes place right now. So, the winner of the free tee for this week's episode of the show is Adam Hodge from Monroe, Louisiana. So congratulations, Adam. You win yourself a free Comic Hero tee. Alright, here's a question for next week's episode, and this is a Black History question. What is the name of the comic book company that was founded by a coalition of African American writers and artists? Everyone who answers correctly been entered in a drawing for a free tee for next week's episode of the show. So, I gotta ask, any questions?
Questions I walk around in. Questions I didn't crime in. Questions I will survive in. Questions.
Alright, I only have one question for this week, and it's from Brian Ferguson from Simsboro, Louisiana. He asks, what were Apocalypse's original powers? Well, Brian, his original powers were size alteration and a healing factor. Now, as he got older, he ended up developing other powers, such as malleable skin, blood that can cure mutants, control of his own molecules. I mean, and then also most recently added, he can mimic any mutant power, but it was size alteration and a healing factor. All right, that's the first question. Here is the second one. Have to bear with me. I'm on my phone doing this. All right. Next question is from Danelle Robinette from Youngstown, Ohio. She asks, where is the home of the Justice League? Well, Danelle, it's in Washington, D.C. Now, on the Super Friends cartoon that ran from 1973 to 1986, it was in Metropolis. But when Brad Meltzer, former Justice League writer, took over writing chores for Justice League of America back in 2006, he placed it in Washington, D.C. And then when Scott Snyder took over as the writer for the current Justice League series last year, he also had it in Washington, D.C. But your answer is Washington, D.C. All right, that's it for any questions. If you have any questions you want to ask me, go ahead and chime on in. Now, usually the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown fight is a segment that I allow viewers to make fight requests. But for this one, I have one of my own. And it's royalty and a lack thereof royalty. Representing Marvel, we have the Black Panther. And representing DC, we have Red Lion. These two are going to duke it out in a segment I like to call
The Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown.
Welcome to the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. Today it's Black Panther versus Red Lion. Black Panther possesses the power to draw upon the knowledge, strength, and every experience of every previous Black Panther. Enhanced strength, speed, durability, and senses, genius-level intellect, is a master martial artist, master tactician and strategist, master inventor who utilizes vibranium suit and equipment. Red Lion possesses firearms, leadership, tactical analysis, and various forms of weaponry. With his suit of armor, he possesses retractable claws and energy absorption. Who will win? This fight will be evenly matched. Both possess suits of armor made of similar materials. However, Black Panther came prepared. After minutes of attacks of energy absorptions, Black Panther unleashes a mist that deters the molecular structure of Red Lion's promethium-laced suit of armor. Angered by this, Red Lion resorts to weapons. He unloads his full arsenal on Black Panther. The vibranium on the latter's suit of armor absorbs every shot and every attack, and the King of Wakanda ends the fight by delivering a vicious roundhouse kick to Red Lion's kisser. Wakanda forever. Black Panther wins, and that concludes this fight on the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed that fight. If you have fight requests for future episodes, contact info is down there. Alright, folks, it's time for Comically Speaking, so without further ado, let's talk comics! Alright, there are two things that I'm going to talk about in this segment of Comically Speaking, and the first one is the announcement of the first 5 guests at GeekCon. Now, last week I brought y'all the news of the date of GeekCon, which is going to be August 16th through the 18th over at the Shreveport Convention Center in Shreveport. The 5 guests are all voice actors on Dragon Ball. Now, the first is Cynthia Kranz, who played the voice of Chi-Chi. Sunny Strait, who plays the voice of Krillin. Chris Ranger, who plays the voice of Mr. Satan, or Hercule if you're nasty. Josh Martin, who plays the voice of both Kid Buu and Majin Buu, and then Kara Edwards, who plays the voice of Goten, Gotenks, and Videl. To have all these voice actors from this one awesome show on the 5th anniversary of GeekCon, they're really doing it big. Words just can't describe like how big this is going to be. I mean, this is only the 5 guests that have been named. Just imagine who else they're going to try to get for it. I mean, I don't think it's. I mean, there were. Now I've heard some stuff, some complaints about this, saying that it was going. The folks thinking it's going to be all Dragon Ball. I don't think so. I just think that's just the tip of the iceberg. I'm ready to find out what the rest of the iceberg is going to be about, or going to be. I mean, I'm ready to find out who these other guests are going to be named. But GeekCon, August the 16th through the 18th at the Shreveport Convention Center in Shreveport. I'll be there and I'll try to get some interviews with these folks, because I've been a fan of anything Dragon Ball since I was in high school. It all started with Dragon Ball Z. Then when I got into college, I started watching episodes of Dragon Ball, the original Dragon Ball series, and then Dragon Ball GT, and then most recently Dragon Ball Super. Just a big fan, and can't wait to meet these folks, and hopefully I'll be able to interview them. All right, now the second thing is, all right, first off, Free Comic Book Day is in the first Sunday of May every year. One of the named books that is going to be there is Free Comic Book Day Spider-Man / Venom. Now this is going to This is going to have two stories. There's going to be a Spider-Man, Peter Parker and Miles Morales Spider-Man team up, written by Tom Taylor and with art by Saladin Ahmed. And it's going to set the tone for another Spider-Man Venom crossover that's coming out later this year. And also, there's going to be there's going to be a Venom story by the regular monthly creative team of Donny Cates and Ryan Stegman. And what they're doing with the book right now. I mean, I currently read the current Venom series. Just what they've done with the character in Eddie Brock. I mean, to say it's spectacular is putting it lightly. And I can't wait to get a hold of this book on Free Comic Book Day. I'm gonna. Which reminds me, I'm gonna try to do a Free Comic Book Day edition of the Comic Hero Show over at Excalibur Comics. So, I don't remember the last time. I think I first started doing like Free Comic Book Day editions of the show starting back in 2015, and I want to continue that tradition. So yeah, really looking forward to that book and any other book that comes out that I get for free. All right, that's it for Comically Speaking. Now then, it's time to get to the comics I bought this week.
Comic books I bought this week.
All right, first up is Asgardians of the Galaxy number 6. Avengers number 14. Batman number 64. The Green Lantern number 4. The Immortal Hulk number 13, excuse me. Justice League number 17. Tony Stark Iron Man number 8. Uncanny X-Men number 11. West Coast Avengers number 4. West Coast Avengers number 5. West Coast Avengers number 6. West Coast Avengers number 7. Champions number 27. Spider-Man Deadpool number 19. Spider-Man Deadpool number 20. Peter Parker Spectacular Spider-Man number 301. Peter Parker Spectacular Spider-Man number 302. Peter Parker Spectacular Spider-Man number 303. Peter Parker is Spectacular Spider-Man number 304. Doomsday Clock number 5. Doomsday Clock number 6. Doomsday Clock number 7. And finally, Doomsday Clock number 8. Alright, that's 23, which brings the total number of comics that I bought since December of 1997 to 9,163. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. Here's a question again for a free tee for next week's episode of the show. What is the name of the comic book company that was founded by a coalition of African American writers and artists? Everyone who answers correctly will be entered in the drawing for a free tee in next week's episode of the show. And congratulations to Adam Hodge from Monroe, Louisiana, who won a free tee in this week's episode. Alright, next week's episode, I'm going to wear a gold Mardi Gras tee. Now, gold, I told you that green represents faith. Well, gold represents power. And believe it or not, we all possess some kind of power. Now, it only matters what you do with it. Think about it. If you have power, it only has. I mean, we all do, but it only matters how we harness it, how we wield it, how we use it. All right, if you're going to go to a Mardi Gras parade anywhere in Louisiana or in certain parts of Mississippi, catch some beads, have some fun, eat some great food. And if you're going to drink, don't drive. If you're going to drive, don't drink. And the only reason I'm saying this is because I don't want to lose any of you. I don't want to hear about any. I don't want to turn on the news and find out that someone had died, coming from a Mardi Gras parade. I don't like to watch the news and hear when anyone dies for any reason. But just have fun. And that's the important thing. Have fun and be responsible. All right, I'm Victor Nunley. I'm the Comic Hero. I'll see you next week for episode 244. So until then, be safe, be blessed, be a hero.